This video will show you step by step how to use an iPhone to digitize archival material as quickly as it takes to turn a page. With this method, researchers and archivists can render entire collections into searchable PDFs at a relatively low cost. In addition to being expensive, slow, and disruptive, traditional techniques of taking images of still objects and new methods of bulk digitization are often physically hard on fragile material, which is why archives impose certain restrictions on allowable equipment. Digital cameras are much faster than flatbed scanners, but it is very difficult for users to take hundreds of quality images by hand. The great majority of tripods and digital cameras are poorly designed for the task of photographing high volumes of documents on a tabletop. There are digital cameras that solve some of the problems involving image focus, battery drain, file transfer, and repetitive strain, but they remain expensive. With the help of a $5 photo app, a $7 tripod mount, and a reasonably priced tripod, an iPhone can be used as a portable but powerful overhead camera. Researchers can literally take thousands of images a day in an archive, then convert those images into PDFs after the reading room closes. This method has been tested in a number of archival settings. During one long day at National Archives, one iPhone digitized 4,200 pages of documents. The cost of using the archive's digital copier would have topped $1,600. Even for researchers who are not as aggressive in digitizing collections, the ability to take good images quickly will result in savings for graduate students, faculty, and the institutions that underwrite research. While this demonstration is geared toward researchers taking images for their own personal use, this process can be used by archives, particularly new ones that don't have the resources to digitize their unprocessed print collections. Newer iPhones take superior pictures, but even discontinued models will do the job. We could not test PCs or Androids, although we would be happy to hear if they also work for rapid archival digitization. An iPad or an iTouch may be compatible with this setup, but the large surface area of an iPad may cast shadows on the documents you're trying to photograph. We recommend using a tripod mount that can handle multiple models of cell phones, just in case you upgrade in the future. The mounts that come with selfie sticks usually do not fit the screws for tripods. You should bring earbuds with volume control, just like the ones that come with the iPhone. A 6-foot lightning cable is recommended, although the standard 3-foot long cable will also work. A portable hard drive is strongly recommended for storing unprocessed image files. It can be a little tricky to find a tripod that will adjust in a way that allows a mounted iPhone to remain parallel to a tabletop at various heights. Vanguard makes a number of models that are extendable, although other manufacturers do as well. Be careful not to get a tripod that requires table clamps, as these are usually not allowed in archives. Standard tripods you might find at a box store are better than nothing, but they can't be adjusted to get the lens close to the document. Depending on the design of the tripod you choose, you may also want to use household items, such as lead sinkers, as a means to better anchor the setup. Newer MacBooks are better suited for image processing, but older models of MacBook will also do the job. You will need Abby FineReader Pro to convert your work into searchable PDFs. Other OCR software is far less accurate in reading images of documents, particularly typed correspondence, or printed material with older typefaces. Currently, there is an educational discount on FineReader Pro. Also, some university libraries with digital microfilm readers have the Windows version, which is a more versatile program. You will also need Adobe Lightroom or the discontinued Apple Aperture as a means to crop and adjust images. The latest version of Lightroom is recommended, but versions 4 to 5 will work as well. Acrobat Pro is recommended, but not essential. Some universities offer Lightroom and Acrobat Pro for staff or faculty. If you do not have Acrobat Pro, you'll need to use Automator. And as you digitize, you'll be working with a number of features in Preview you've probably never used before. After you get the hang of digitizing using earbuds, you may also want to try iKeyboard Remote. This free program is available at the Mac App Store. With it, users can click on the trackpad to trigger the iPhone shutter. We tested a number of Bluetooth remote control shutters, but they were not reliable for heavy-duty use. There are a number of photo apps on the iPhone that will trigger the shutter if you click on the volume control on attached earbuds. Pro Camera Plus by CocoLogix currently has the best combination of features, but we recommend spending a few dollars and trying other apps, as you could settle on one application set specifically for archival work. The camera app that comes with the iPhone really doesn't have the functionality to take multiple pictures on a desktop. At the archive, you'll probably want to take the iPhone out of its case to reduce its weight. You should also turn off the ringer and put the phone in airplane mode. Whatever app you choose, you'll need to set images to the highest quality. It is faster to take photos using JPEGs. However, TIFF files result in higher quality images. Although it sounds counterintuitive, your PDFs will be significantly smaller in size as well. Unless you're pressed for time, stick with TIFF files. You'll need to turn on the volume shutter, and you'll also need to turn on the autofocus lock to prevent the camera from changing focus as you turn pages. You should also turn off the flash and make sure files are saved to the camera roll. You should also turn on the grid and the tiltmeter. I'm going to set up the tripod in my office, as I didn't want to be a distraction in a reading room. The test documents, as you'll notice, are photocopies of old newspapers. We looked at the regulations governing digitization in multiple archives, and talked to archivists to make sure that this setup would work in an archive that allows both digital cameras and tripods. This arrangement can be used for brittle-bound volumes sitting in book cradles, as you could tilt the iPhone at an angle. Although an iPhone camera will not capture images with the same resolution as a flatbed scanner, the very slow process of scanning is harder on archival material than using an overhead camera. You'll want to make sure that the front legs of the tripod don't intrude on the archival material, but you need to be careful to make sure the tripod does not tip forward. For this, you might add a little weight on the back leg of the tripod. In the case of this model, you could thread through the lanyard hole a piece of string at the top of the tripod. Here I've tied two old sockets to a worn-out shoelace. Inelegant looking, but it works great in keeping the tripod from tipping forward. Once you have the tripod set up, you will want to use the tiltmeter to make sure that the camera is parallel to the document. You'll also want to lock the focus. This is accomplished in most apps by simply tapping the viewfinder. Sometimes the camera will take photos that are sideways or upside down, but this is easily remedied in Preview or Lightroom. You'll want to take a picture that allows some space on all sides of the document. When digitizing quickly, it is very easy for archival photos to move out of frame, particularly in the direction that you're turning pages. On the desktop, you'll want to create a number of nested folders which mimic the organization of the collections you are visiting. For example, you would create a folder named for the archive. Inside that folder, you would create another with the name of the collection you are shooting. Inside that folder, you'll create a folder with a box number. Finally, you'll create a folder with the folder name or the folder number. Once you've plugged the iPhone into the Macbook, there's a good chance that iTunes and Photos will open. You can make sure that both programs don't open automatically by checking off these two boxes. Open Preview. Under File, you'll import iPhone. The iPhone will have your name on it, probably. Once you've plugged in your earbuds, you are ready to digitize. Turning each page, you'll click the volume of the earbuds. A thumbnail of the image will show in Preview. Once you've finished shooting, you'll import all of the files into the nest of folders that you've created on your desktop. As the files transfer, you should pay close attention to images that might be out of frame or have hands inside the picture, problems that occur if you're working quickly. If you have the sense while you're shooting that a picture might be badly askew or otherwise unreadable, don't hesitate to retake photos. You don't want to go home and find that your hand is in the way of a crucial sentence in a document. At the end of a day of shooting, you'll import all of the images to Lightroom. To rotate images, you need to press Apple right bracket or Apple left bracket. You'll hit R to crop an image. You'll also press the A key to crop outside of the original aspect ratio. Be careful not to crop too closely. The idea here is to remove the empty space in multiple photos. You could also use the crop tool to adjust crooked images. When you've finished adjusting, you'll then right-click the master image, hit Develop Settings, and Copy Settings. Whether it is 9 photos or 4009 photos, you'll highlight the images that you think are in the same position as your master image. Right-click Settings and Paste. Removing the color and increasing the contrast increases the accuracy of OCR software. You should hit the black and white contrast high preset. In the histogram, you could push to the right. Don't go too far, or your documents will be hard to read. If you choose to remove the color, you'll copy and paste in Develop Settings once more. Once you're finished processing images, you'll then highlight images and right-click Export the files into subfolders within the same folders as the original files. If you're working with TIFF files, you could significantly reduce the file size. You'll then want to combine your files into a PDF. You could do this through the Combine Files into PDF function in Acrobat Pro. Or, in Automator, you could start a workflow. Find Get Specified Finder Items and New PDFs from Images. Once you've made your PDF, you could type in the collection information or go to the folder that contained the original images. Highlight an image and press Apple I. Under General, look for the path name. You'll copy and paste that information into the name of the PDF. Once you're finished, you can compress the original images as a zip file, then archive it on an external hard drive. You will then open the PDF in Abby Fine Reader. In Preferences, you could specify which languages the document uses. If you have a PDF that is especially large, it is wise to split the PDF using Acrobat Pro. Depending on the amount of text the software has to process and the power of your Macbook, this action may take some time, so you might want to bring a book. Abby Fine Reader can sometimes distort handwritten text, so we recommend keeping the original PDF. Although the searchable text will contain occasional errors, researchers can use Spotlight to run keyword searches on multiple archival documents. We hope this will make your time in the archives far more productive. For more tips, visit our Tumblr page.